Well, fans of The Amazing Race on CBS will recognize our two guests here, Kynt and Vyxin, who finished 5th, but we were all pulling for you to win the $1 million. How are you guys?
Hey. Good, hi.
So
Happy to be here.
What was that like? You guys are watching The Amazing Race at home, you apply, and they pick you. Are you shocked to begin with?
Oh yes, when you first get that call, it's just exhilarating. It's like they really saw our application. They watched our videotape. Oh my God! And then afterwards, I mean, it's the experience of a lifetime. We never imagined in an entire lifetime that we'd get to visit as many exotic locations as we did in 1 month on The Amazing Race.
And now, were they attracted, do you think, to your look?
I can't say that it hurt, at least to get their attention. So many people apply for these shows. I think they said something like about 50,000 people each season. And it was his idea to apply. And I was like, oh, sweetie, that'd be so fun. But there's no way that we'll get on. I mean, let's get real. But we'll send in a tape just to humor you.
Now, for people that didn't get the chance to watch the show, they pick people from any walk of life and they send them around the world on this wild goose chase. And you guys both are from Lexington, Kentucky, right? Or Louisville, Kentucky?
Louisville, Kentucky,
Louisville.
where we have the Derby. The Kentucky Derby is probably what Louisville's most known for.
And before The Amazing Race, what were you guys doing?
Oh, well, we've always loved road trips. So we're very adept at travel on the fly. All the time I found out about like a music festival or a sci-fi convention, and I'll call Vyxin up and be like, oh my God, there's this great event tomorrow. Let's jump in the car now. We gotta go.
So you're very spontaneous.
Absolutely, absolutely.
And you both work in restaurants, right?
Yeah, we are professional restaurant servers. I bartend a little, so even though we have fun, prissy club lifestyles, they don't exactly pay the bills. So yeah, we're just, restaurant servers from Kentucky.
All right, so now you're on The Amazing Race. You start out with 10 other teams. And what are you anticipating that it's going to be like? What were you thinking as you started the race?
Well, as the show has shown season after season, anything can happen. You have no idea where in the world you're going to be. You could be going on a leg to Antarctica or going to like South American jungles. So you have no idea what's ahead. You have to be ready for anything.
And what was your first stop on The Amazing Race?
Well, The Amazing Race this year started at the Playboy Mansion in Los Angeles. There were no bunnies like lounging around, so Kynt was a little bit disappointed.
I was so
upset about that.
My whole life I've been wanting to go to the Playboy Mansion. I didn't even get one bunny.
Not a bunny,
no bunnies.
Okay.
But from there we flew to Ireland, and that was the first stop, and then we were off.
Our very first task was making it to the top of this hill to sign up for a ferry boat. The next day, we had to drive. For the first time, I had to drive on the wrong side of the road in Ireland, so that was completely unexpected, something I've never done in my life, and believe me, it takes some getting used to.
The next stop on our Amazing Race was Amsterdam.
Yes.
Oh, you must have loved, that's a really progressive city, right?
Oh, yes. And we opened the Clue and I saw that. I was like, Vyxin, they are going to love us in Amsterdam. We're going to get a great reception there. And we certainly did. It was a beautiful journey. We had to do a challenge that was called Hoist It. We had to hoist furniture.
Oh, I remember up to the building,
in Amsterdam,
right?
the buildings, a lot of the buildings downtown are so tiny and so narrow, and going up them, the stairs are just like it's like being in a dollhouse. So when people move in and out, they frequently will hoist the furniture up many stories through a window to get it inside the house. So we got to try our hand at that, which was difficult because that stuff was heavy. It was rough. But we managed it somehow. We were tough. We stuck it out.
So now from Amsterdam, where do you go next?
From Amsterdam, we went to Burkina Faso, Africa, which was so exciting because Europe is sort of familiar. Even though it was new for us, we'd never been to any of these places. But it had sort of a familiar ring, and Africa was so exciting because that's when we really knew, we are traveling around the world. Like this is just awesome.
So after Africa, where do you go?
After Africa, then we found ourselves in Lithuania. That was one of my favorite places. There was a challenge where we went up over a hill, and we were hearing music and things like that. We come up over this hill, and there's like dozens and dozens and dozens of people in full costume, and they're having some sort of like festival, like fairy tale festival. So there's people walking on stilts. Everyone's wearing huge masks. There's
puppets,
like witches, gnomes, puppets, dwarves.
So you guys love that.
Craziness. We got so excited. We were the first team there. We were so excited. We ran straight past the clue box.
We just fell into this little magical world and started playing. And then we looked at each other and we're like, We better start racing.
What are
maybe?
we doing? Yeah.
So there you go. Where now?
Croatia,
Oh,
Dubrovnik,
Croatia.
Croatia, which was breathtakingly beautiful. I mean, everywhere you looked, it was just like postcard perfect, beautiful, gorgeous, wonderful. I mean, it's right on the Mediterranean, and it was strange being there because, you know, knowing that they've had such a tumultuous history in our lifetimes, you wouldn't even be able to tell that though from the parts that we saw. Out of all the places that we went, if I was to go just somewhere on a vacation just to relax, I think that that's someplace I'd definitely like to go to again.
Well, the next task was Italy, and it was a really hard leg. Our car broke down. We lost a lot of time. Incidentally, we came in last place in that episode. The next leg was India, where we had to do a speed bump. That was our penalty for the non-elimination leg. And we played hard. We ran as fast as we could on that leg, but it was our demise. India was the nail in the coffin.
It was.
Was it hard to leave and go home?
It was hard to go home. I mean, to be honest, you know, this is the most exciting thing. If we had our way, we'd still be racing right now. I mean, we just, you know, we loved the whole experience. We loved every minute of it. You're tired, dehydrated, hungry, jet-lagged, injured. You don't even care. I mean, we just had such a blast. It was such a rush, the whole thing. We loved every single minute of it. And I think if we could just do that for the rest of our lives, we'd enjoy it. I think that's what Phil does, the host.
Well, you guys are great. You really represented yourselves well in the amazing race. We were all rooting for you at home, and maybe you'll get another chance to go around the world, huh?
Well, we hope so. And, you know, TV or no TV, our travels are never over. We always love to road trip and fly and get around the world any which way that we can. So
We're ready to jump on another plane at a moment's notice,
Yeah.
no matter where it's going. We're ready for another adventure.
Well, they're very spontaneous, like Mike Bennett on the road, sort of. You know, we just get up and
exactly.
go.
You are too.
You are our
You're a kindred
inspiration, Mike.
spirit. Yay.
Kynt Vyxin from The Amazing Race for Mike Bennett on the road. Join us for Mike Bennett on the road every Tuesday and Friday night at 6 on Channel 6, Time Warner in the Hudson Valley. And for highlights, go to MikeOnTheRoad.com.